Welcome to the College of Global Futures. We're happy that you're here. This will be our financial aid and funding sources presentation. And just to give you a little bit overview, Bridget and I will kind of go over about the College of Global Futures. And from that point, I'll be covering most of this presentation, talking about the cost and funding general overview. We'll kind of give you an idea about how federal financial aid process is done, where to go if you have financial aid questions. And then we're going to dive into the two scholarships we offer here in the College of Global Futures, which is a Champion Scholarship and the Undergraduate Incoming Scholarship. We're going to show you where to apply and the process as well. And then to wrap things up, we'll talk about the next steps for you to do for fall 2022. And also we'll give you our contact information. Without further ado, Bridget, would you like to talk about the overview of the college?
Absolutely. This is ASU's newest college, started in June of 2020, and it's comprised of three schools: the School of the Future of Innovation and Society, School of Sustainability, and the School of Complex Adaptive Systems, which is currently a graduate program, but the other two colleges are also working with undergrads. That's Bridget and Michael and Nicole, and we're here to help you through certain services and any questions that you have. If we can't answer them, we'll find someone who can help you, and we'll have our contact information at the end of this presentation. Our students are studying what's happening right now in the world. I teach some courses. I don't even have a textbook in some of my classes because we're looking at what's going on in the world locally as well as globally. Students identify issues. We are very solutions focused with real world learning experiences and create that positive impact towards a better future for all of us.
Great, thank you so much, Bridget. Now we're going to get into our presentation. We're going to be talking about cost and funding sources and kind of defining them and what opportunities you have as an admit here to the College of Global Futures. We want to kind of just start with what are some general cost breakdowns. One of the things you'll probably hear when you're in college, which I'm sure you probably have heard with college, are tuition and fees, on-campus housing, and meals. So those are going to be standard costs for students who are coming here to Arizona State University. But when it comes to personal expenses, we kind of categorize that as books and supplies, transportation, and personal expenses. So those vary depending on the classes you'll be taking. Bridget, she said that she doesn't really have that many texts because things are always constantly changing. And it depends on the class that you're going to be enrolled in each semester, what books you need to have or supplies. So just kind of keeping those costs kind of broken down between the two categories, which is standard costs and personal expenses. So since we have these costs, how are we going to pay for them? So let's talk about our funding sources and want to break those down. We have grants and scholarships. That's basically free money. You're not going to have to pay that back later on, and there's no interest involved with that. That also includes Arizona State University scholarships that are provided here and private scholarships that might be through an organization or a business. Those are money that can help you pay for those expenses that we kind of mentioned earlier. Now, when it comes to loans, those are things that you're going to definitely have to pay back later in the future. And something that will occur with that is interest. And there are different types of loans where the interest starts immediately. And there's some interest that starts not until after you enroll in less than 6 hours of classes. So I just wanted to clarify that. That's a very general breakdown with that. Is admission services in coordination with financial aid office here at Arizona State University offer live virtual visits, and they have different events, including one on financial aid. So if you are wanting to understand a little bit more details about federal financial aid and some of the differences between grants and scholarships and opportunities available here, or just understanding the process as a whole, definitely recommend you attending those. But I also wanted to kind of give you a breakdown of like the process that does happen. One of the priority deadlines here at Arizona State University is the deadline for need-based kind of funding, which has passed. That was January 15th. So just a few days ago, they have requested that you had to have your FAFSA submitted, and Arizona State University would have looked to see what your need is. But just for the sake of this presentation, I would like to kind of talk about, on general terms, the federal financial application process for that. And that usually starts by going to their website, creating your FSA ID, and selecting the proper academic year. So if you're going to start in fall 22, that aid year is going to be 2022-2023 FAFSA application. That's where you're going to begin the application, putting your personal information in. And then what ends up happening is that you add ASU as your school selection, and you'll be having a special school ID that you'll be putting in there. And that number is 001081. And then that's where you're going to enter your parents' tax information from 2020, a dependent of them. And then you'll provide financial information. And then with that, you're going to end up signing it with your FAFSA ID, which you created in step 2. And then you're done. There are instances where, some things might not line up, and that's where you could get selected for verification. But for this sake, we're just general terms. And we will also have contact information, some links, information of where to ask these specific questions. We definitely recommend contacting the ASU financial aid office if you have any sort of questions about your federal financial aid. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we do have the ASU live hosted virtual visits. And if you are admitted, there's definitely a contact, a representative who can definitely help answer any questions that you might have when it comes to admissions or financial aid as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into the scholarships that we offer here in the College of Global Futures. We have 2 scholarships. One is called the Global Futures Champion Scholarship, and then the other one's called the College of Global Futures Undergraduate Incoming. We'll cover the Global Futures Champion Scholarship first. That's an award for $4,000, and that will be broken up in the 2 semesters that you'll be starting. So if you start in fall, you $2,000 for fall semester and then $2,000 for spring. And the requirement for that is that you need to be enrolled full-time, which means 12 credit hours or more. And we also have to make sure that you've been admitted to ASU, and also you have been admitted to a Global Futures program. In case if there's any sort of financial need, having that FAFSA included, which ASU will be able to receive on file, is very helpful as well. It's definitely not necessary, but it is helpful. And just to give you an idea of the deadlines for that, so you do have time. We definitely recommend not procrastinating. The committee will definitely remember if you decide to apply for the scholarship, again, the Champion Scholarship. The other scholarship is the College of Global Futures Undergraduate Incoming Scholarship. This award varies, and it can vary from $500 to $5,000. And again, it's for our newly admitted first-year transfer students. And just like the other scholarship, you need to be enrolled full-time. So if you are coming in fall 22, we need you to be at least 12 credit hours or more. And it is not a need base. And we're definitely looking holistically at your whole application. And that deadline is coming up in a few weeks on February 15th, 2022. So keep those deadlines in mind for those 2 scholarships. All right, so where do you go apply for these scholarships? Are you familiar with the My ASU portal that we have here at Arizona State University?
Yeah, I've been using it here and there. So
okay, wonderful. So this is where you're going to go to find scholarship portal. And when you look on the very top, you'll notice that there's a finance tab next to the home on My ASU. That's where you want to go. Click on the finance tab. And then when you look down to the financial success box, you'll find scholarships. That's where you're going to be able to go to the scholarship portal that Arizona State University has. And this is where you're going to be able to find the 2 scholarships. So once you enter to the My ASU scholarship portal, where you want to go to is a scholarship search. You see that big red arrow? That's the first option that you want to definitely use to find the scholarships. And there are filters. You'll see on the bottom image there, it says search filters. And what we recommend is adding your academic levels field, and in your enrollment status, if you're enrolling in more than 12 hours and more, you're considered full-time, so you can put that in there. And you can put the college name, College of Global Futures, and that will be able to help you find the 2 scholarships that I had just mentioned. Again, the Global Futures Champion Scholarship and the the incoming undergraduate scholarship as well. And so these are what the scholarships, you'll be able to review it and see what the criteria is, what the application entails, and the amount and description of the scholarships. And what you want to do is scroll down, read through that material, and then at the bottom, there should be a Apply Now button that you can press on to be able to apply for that scholarship. Go over a little bit more about the College of Global Futures Champion Scholarship application process and what it all entails. So with this scholarship, it is set up to be either an essay format or a video that you can create. And in that essay and video, we want you to tell us about yourself and tell us what school you have come from and what College of Global Futures program you are interested in. And since Bridget at the beginning mentioned that our students are named change agents, we want you to identify a local challenge that you see around you in your community and identify that and let us know why it is important to you and how your future studies and being a student here in the College of Global Futures will help you address this and any sort of potential innovative solutions that you might have. So if you decide to do a video, we ask it to be 1 to 2 minutes long, and make sure to have a proper title with that. Again, all these instructions are provided on the application that we have in the ASU's portal, scholarship portal. And just making sure that you also title, if you do the essay, to title it properly as well. And the accepted formats that we have are a docx, text, or PDF, and making sure that it's 500 words and double space. And again, if you do have certain financial need, feel free to kind of mention that. Again, the focus of this is going to be your challenge that you kind of identify and how you would address it. Next steps, continue to be in your My ASU. That's where you'll be getting a lot of updates. And in the meantime, you can pay your enrollment deposit, which I don't think you have for as a transfer student, but you can register, figure out your housing, and making sure you submit your FAFSA. And it sounds like you did scholarship search, but there are other scholarships available to you. And in that filter system, you want to make it as general as possible. Try not to put too many filters because you might filter out some potential scholarships you might qualify for. But again, a lot of those deadlines are coming up, and we definitely recommend for you to take advantage of looking at those scholarships in the ASU portal, because there's not only just the College of Global Future scholarships, but there's also other scholarships available at Arizona State University. All right, and then I am going to show you our contact information here. Feel free to take a screenshot if you need to. But we're really happy to have you join us here at the College of Global Futures. Bridget is also an instructor here. She's a great resource in case you have any other questions. Is one of our first graduates here at the School of Sustainability. And feel free to ask us any questions that you might have in the future. But we're looking forward to having you, Laura. Thank you for joining us.
Cole and I encourage you just to apply for everything you can find. Think of it as a part-time job of maybe every day or every other day, just checking scholarships that are out there. The Champion Scholarship that we have offered now for, I think, 9 years, we're looking for what you're excited about. So if you want to, shoot a short video about, water, energy, or waste, or affordable housing, or any of the many options that you have out there, our food systems, just something that you're excited about, and you're welcome to shoot the video however you like. If you are at a recycling facility, if you're talking about something that's happening in your community, we just love to see that. And the same thing with the essay. It's just wanting to know what you see out in the world, and just coming from your heart. That's where the power of that is. And just apply for everything you can, and be sure to reach out to Nicole, Michael, or I if you have any questions as you go along. And when I taught a study abroad course to Cuba, one of my students found a scholarship from a backpack company. They said, write an essay about the excitement of traveling. And he got $1,000 and a free backpack.
Oh, wow.
There's all kinds of stuff out there, not just with the College of Global Futures, but ASU itself, as well as outside organizations, and just look for as much funding as you can.